Hi guys, assalamu alaikum, welcome to my channel. I'm Shaza, you may know me as Brown Girl Does Makeup. Thank you for clicking on my video. If you're new here, welcome. If you've been here before, thank you so much for coming back. I really appreciate it if you subscribe and give my videos a thumbs up if you're enjoying the content. So I've got a declutter video for you today. So this is going to be a mammoth task for me because you can see how many eyeshadow palettes I have, and yeah, I have to hold the backdrop with weights. I used to have a table, but I find it easier being on the floor, so I've stopped using that. And I could open this backdrop more, but there's so much stuff behind there that I actually can't open it any more than this. So I have a limited space to film with, and yeah, you can see my dodgy setup that I have. So hopefully, inshallah, one day I'll be able to have a better setup if this becomes a thing. So basically what I want to do is declutter my eyeshadow palettes. I love eyeshadows, like highlighters. If you watch my highlighter video, I'll link it up above. Eyeshadow is one of my favorite makeup items. Not necessarily to use sometimes, because I don't actually use eyeshadow that often. I find a shade I like in a palette and I'll probably pick that constantly, or I find like a look that I like and I'll do that constantly. But in terms of like playing around, swatching, looking, admiring, eyeshadow is my favorite. I really enjoy like color stories and trying to figure out what colors mesh well together, and you know, things like that, and attempting looks that I wouldn't normally do. So I love eyeshadow palettes, but I do find it overwhelming that I have so many, and it's my own fault because I can't not buy them. And even though I have so many, I still have so many that I want to buy. I actually have the 2 Pat McGrath releases on my wish list that I want to buy, and she's released so much more since then that I want to buy. And there's a couple of other ones that I want to get. And yeah, so this is going to be difficult. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to split it into either 2 videos or more, because I think there's over 100 eyeshadow palettes here, and I don't think I can do 100 eyeshadow palettes in one video. There are some that I definitely know I'm going to get rid of, and there are some that I definitely know I'm going to keep. So like all my Pat McGrath collection I'm going to keep, my Huda Beauty collection I'm going to keep, my Anastasia Beverly Hills collection I'm going to keep, this Vive one here I want to play around with it some more, and my Viseart collection I'm definitely going to keep, but I want to have them out because I want to reference them. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with my Natasha Denona ones because I obviously don't support her no more, and I do love her formula, but I don't want to keep so many because I know I would spend money on them, but I have like nieces that would use them, and because I like doing YouTube and Instagram and stuff, I don't want to promote her stuff anymore. So I don't know. I don't know about those ones. So but I want to keep them out, as I said, because I want to see cross-reference with other eyeshadow palettes. So where do I begin? Let's begin with this one. This is the Umu Beauty Black Magic eyeshadow palette. I don't know if they still do this. I have a feeling they don't. So if you watched my eyeshadow palettes collection video in 2023, I'll link it up above. I did say like I wasn't keen on the formula of the mattes, and I didn't like these glittery shades. I would swatch them, but they were a nightmare to get off. They get everywhere and it will take me forever to swatch. I'm only going to swatch shadows that I think look similar to one another so I can compare. But this one, I know the only eyeshadow palette that's very similar to it is Subculture. So let me just get Subculture out. So as you can see, they are like, what I mean by similar is that they've got the greens, the yellows, and sort of the maroony browns and purples. And these glitter shades, I feel like, even though Subcultures leans more matte heavy, it's only got 3 sort of shades that are metallic you have this one which is like the topper, and obviously whenever you put it on top of any shade it kind of shifts color slightly. So I feel like I don't need this one, even though this has more glitter or metallic shades, because I don't like the glitter and I don't like the matte formula. So I rather just keep the Subculture one, because I actually got a good one. And you know, like I said in that video, my one wasn't bad. It doesn't like, it's not as bad as what I saw online when the whole Subculture thing was happening. So yeah, I'm gonna get rid of this one. So the next one I know I'm gonna get rid of is this one, and this is Summertime palette. It's from I can't really pronounce that, so I'm just gonna put it up here, but it's the Summertime palette. So in that video I said this is one I don't gravitate to because it's just one color story, so it's very pink leaning, and although like this purple's beautiful, that magenta's beautiful, and the shimmers are quite nice, and the formula is actually quite good, I don't do these sort of looks, and I'm not that type of person to get one palette and get a shade from another palette and mix and match and stuff. I don't really do that. I like my palette to just have a complete look in it, unless I've got like single eyeshadows. So yeah, I'm gonna declutter this one too. I'm gonna declutter this one because I haven't used it and I don't think I will ever use it. I don't think I will use it because the colours are too light for me. I don't think they'll suit my skin tone. The shadows are fine, but I do have this like in a lot of palettes, so I don't really want to touch it, so I'm gonna declutter this one too. This Bare Minerals palette is the Bounce and Blur palette in Dusk. I don't think they do this anymore. I think it's been discontinued. I am going to declutter this because it's a bit muted for my liking. Like I don't mind softer looks, but I know I can achieve that with any eyeshadow, even if it's really pigmented, as long as I go little by little. But then most of the time I don't really do that, so for me it doesn't really hold a place in my collection. So this is the Beauty Bay Pastel palette. I actually don't have something like this in my collection, so I'm not sure if I'm going to declutter it or not. I might just leave that when I look at the other palettes and see if there's shades in there that I can kind of like dupe. But to be honest, I'm not sure if I want to keep it, because I remember it being really like non-existent on my eyelids. Let me just swatch it and have a look. So that's the palette and this is its swatch. So it is really cute. I really like it, but I don't think I will use it. I did use it for a while because there's actually quite a dip in that bluey turquoisey shade and the pink shade as well, but I don't think I'll use it, so I think this is good to go as well. So sticking with the Beauty Bay palettes, I have this one, which is the nude palette, the 16 color one. So that looks like that. And then I have Fiery, looks like that. I'm trying to put them down here. And we have the colourful one, the colourful one. So I'm not sure about the formula on these, because when I used this one the pigmentation wasn't all there, but also again I'm trying to minimize my collection, so I don't want to keep too much. So a part of me is thinking I might declutter these two, because I do have these sort of colours in a lot. Like I'm looking at the Viseart Spritz palette, and that kind of like is a condensed version of this one, and I'd rather keep that because it's smaller. And I think this Vive palette, let's have a look. Yeah, so this Vive palette, so I have this Vive palette that has sort of a mixture of the nude, and then I have the Tati Texture Neutral, which has the fiery colors as well as the nude colors. So I think I'm good to actually declutter those two. So these two are going, and this one I'm gonna keep until I've had a look at all the rest of my collection and make a decision then, because I don't think I have colors like this, but I do know I have some colorful palettes in like the Anastasia Beverly Hills one. I think I have some colourful ones in the Juvia's Place one. So yeah, I'm going to keep this one for the time being. So let's look at Ace Beauté. I know there is palette that has a colour very similar. I think in my Anastasia Beverly Hills one, I've got this green, and that's in the Prism palette. And the other colors, so let's see. So I had to move some stuff around to get to the palettes that I think I have similar colors in. And so I got these two Juvia's Place ones, and then I have the Beauty Bay, and this is Ace Beauté. Now obviously it's not the same sort of, is it called chartreuse color as the Ace Beauté one. It's obviously a lot lighter, the Anastasia Beverly Hills one, than the Ace Beauté one, but I don't want to keep a whole palette just for that one color, because the rest of the formulas, I remember it not being that great, like especially this teal wasn't that great. You can see it's quite faded. I think it was quite, there we go. So yeah, this teal wasn't the best teal. It was quite patchy, and I wasn't a huge fan of the formula of this palette, so I think I'm just gonna get rid of that one. So I'm just having a look at my colourful palettes again, and I can see that they're all quite different. Well, to be fair, the Tartus Remix palette is very similar to that Juvia's Place one. It's slightly muted, and there's not many of those deep blues and indigos, so tough call, but they're very similar. Maybe I need to battle out the two palettes and see which one I'll keep. I think I might consider doing that. Yeah, let me do that instead. Then I was looking at this other top palette I have, which is the Young, Wild and Cruelty Free palette. I think it was called Unleash. So I'm just covering up the mirror with the boxes. This one has that teal that this one has, this Juvia's Place palette. I think I might keep the Beauty Bay one and this Juvia's Place one and get rid of this Tarte one, because they all have this teal color, albeit the Beauty Bay one's a little bit lighter and the Juvia's Place one is actually a lot lighter. So this is from Tarte, this is from Juvia's Place, this is from Beauty Bay, and this is from the Tarte, this color here. This is really difficult because they're different. I thought they were really like the same, but they're not, they're different. I need to do a better job at decluttering, so I might I'll put these to the side and have a think about them. So I've organized that a little bit better. I couldn't make a decision, so I've decided to park that for a minute, because I don't want these videos to be too long, so I'm just going to split them. I think I will look at one more to declutter in this video. Well, actually, I think there's going to be two. So if I take out this Urban Decay little collection that I have going, it's mainly these two. So I'm definitely going to declutter this one, the Born to Run palette. I used it a couple of times recently and I just couldn't vibe with the formula. It wasn't working for me, and I was really annoyed actually, because I remember it being a really good palette. So I don't know if it's because it's a little bit older, but like that green just didn't work at all. And if this did work, I would have kept this over the Tarte one and stuff, but the Tarte one is actually a really nice shadow. It's really soft and creamy, whereas this is really hard, and I had to literally dig into it to try and get the green to work for me. So I'm gonna declutter that, and like if one of my nieces want it, they can have it, and I know they won't use the greens and stuff, but as long as they're using the other colors, it's fine. And then this I had in my project pan in 2021. I was trying to do a pan matte palette as well as a normal project pan, and trust me, worst thing ever. But so the mattes are fine, but these metallics aren't all that. Let me just swatch them. So this is what they look like. This is the 4 bottom and the 4 top, and these are beautiful shades, and I had to swatch them a couple of times to actually get the color on my arm. And as you can see, they're a little bit flaky, but the only one I really enjoyed using was this one, purely because it was the easiest one to use. The others, you had to use some sort of glitter glue or something for it to adhere to the skin, and like, it really annoyed me because this purple is beautiful. I love that purple, and it didn't work. And then even like these, it looks icy, but it's like a pink, and this is really beautiful for like a just a one and done shadow if you want something sparkly. But it just didn't work for me. I wasn't enjoying it, so I knew it was going to be a declutter. So this is going to go. So I've actually decluttered 10 palettes so far, and I think I'm going to call it a day because I'm not 100% sure how I'm going to tackle the next, because those ones that I decluttered, I kind of knew I was going to declutter. I just wanted to double check whether it was completely unique to my collection before I actually got rid of them. And to be honest, I don't feel bad getting rid of those ones, but the rest of them I'm gonna struggle a little bit to be honest, because they all have a like little sentimental thing about them. So there's certain things like the Juvier's Place ones, I actually don't really want to declutter them because my husband bought me them, you know, and the We've one I want to play around with, and my husband bought me that one, and there's a couple of Natasha Denona ones as well that were like achievements for me to buy, and the Pat McGrath ones were achievements for me to buy because, you know, they're quite expensive, and I was doing alright in life when I was buying them. So, you know, so there's stories behind everything. Like a lot of them I didn't buy willingly. There's some I did buy willingly, like the Urban Decay Stone vibe, and there are a few more other ones, but a lot of them I didn't. So it's quite difficult. So I think it's gonna take a little bit of time. So I'm probably gonna do a few more videos. I don't know how many, because as you can see, I'm someone who doesn't get any gifts or PR or anything like that. I buy my stuff, so it's hard for me to part with it. But I do need to, because it's just too much. It is really too much. And I have like nieces who are really into their makeup, and they wear makeup all the time, and they'll probably get more use out of it. So I want to give it to them so they can have fun with it, rather than it sitting in the cupboard and me looking at it every so often. That's the end of part 1 for my declutter video for my eyeshadows. I will be back for part 2. I'll probably just put them back to back, so be prepared for a lot of uploads from me, and I will see you in the next video. Take care, bye.